When you're creating a waterfall, the important thing to do is to go and look at existing waterfalls to get ideas of how the rocks have been eroded and things like that. This is Pistol Falls in Wales. This is one in Derbyshire, up near Aldersbury Hall, and again you can see the way that the stream changes direction and the way it splits around the stones, and the shapes of the stones, often these cheese-shaped shapes. Again, here you can see how the water has worn away at the rock, creating a lovely little curved sort of cave in there. And often you can find pieces, if you look closely, in a quarry or something like that. Again, here the water is sort of eroded the backs. You've got this wedge-shaped rock. Well, here we are starting to dig out. So this is just a little mini waterfall, and we're just digging out, creating a couple of ledges and a slightly deeper area for the pump to go. So just forming the very tiny pools, little header pool. The bottom pool's dug out now with a slightly deeper area there on the right hand side for the pump to go. And then we begin the process of putting a little bit of a concrete ring round the pool. This will help create a nice leveled area, and so when people stand on it, it won't give way. You can knock some pins in or some nails and just check it with the level all the way around, and then is to level that out and that with a plastic float up and down, and eventually you get a nice area. Should be looking something like that. Once you've done that for all the other areas, so you've got area to put your liners, and then when you put the stones on, they can mortar onto some. There you go, that's that all done. And then position the underlay. What I usually do is just wet it a little bit, and then it sticks to the sides quite nicely, otherwise it can be a nuisance when the wind's blowing it. And then cut the butyl liner. What I decided to do on this one was to cut the stones in half so that the liner can run through the middle of them, which means then the water level comes up the stones. So the water level, if it drops, you don't just see the bottom of the liner, you actually see the stone. Bridge over that with a couple of beams and a bit of plywood or whatever you've got. Start to build the main fall in this case. You can see that I've gone for a fairly strong bond on that with some good stones, making sure that there's no vertical joints, so it's nice and solid. You can cantilever out a little bit if you want to, using different stones or using some metal and stones. In this case it's a little bit different. I've decided to put a little coping around the bottom pool, so I've just cut out a cardboard semicircle template using a scotch chisel and just going around the outside of it, hitting it harder, and gradually that will into the little pieces. With you can see that's just ready to break, and just harder. Eventually you create things, and what I've done there is just lay the copings out ready, and once I know where they're going, then I put the mortar on, and then there's a little bit of pointing up there. Okay, after that just mortar the other stones on. What I'm looking for higher up the waterfall is wedge shaped stones, so it looks like the water has worn them away onto the sort of getting near the finish really. When you choose your pump, you need to find a pump that the whole volume of water will pass through every 2 hours, and then you measure the width of the bead. Whatever width of your bead is, that's your spill into the pool. You want to allow about 100 gallons per inch on your pump capacity. Bearing in mind, the higher you go, if the header pool is higher than the lower pool, which it usually is, then if you go above certain heights, that will reduce the efficiency of your pump. So just check your pump details on that, and obviously make sure that it's all RCD protected. Okay.